The midpoint, capital M, of a line segment is halfway between 2 points. So we'll have the 2 points and we can figure out how to find the point that is in the middle of the two of them. It's kind of easy, to see it on a graph, and it's way easy to work it out with this formula. So the x-coordinate of the midpoint is the average, the mean, the halfway point between two endpoints. So that's why we have this here, x, first x plus second x. This is how we find the average of any two numbers divided by 2. So as complicated as that looks, it just means we are adding those two x-coordinates together, dividing them in half, and that gives us the x-coordinate that is halfway between. We do the same with the y-coordinate. We find the average, the mean, of the two endpoints. And so our midpoint formula is the average of the x's, that's our x-coordinate, and the average of the y's that we know, and I'll show you down below. The length of a line or segment, or line interval, is found using Pythagoras. So if we've got ourselves a couple of points and a line in between them, we can treat that as the hypotenuse, and then we can use the other information given to us by the graph to figure out what the length of that line is. A squared plus b squared equals c squared. So find the midpoint of this. So we've got a couple of x's and we've got a couple of y's. Remember, the midpoint is the first x plus the second x averaged, and the first y plus the second y averaged. So let's do them separately. So for x, we've got 1 plus 4, this is x we're talking about, over 2, 5 over 2. We could leave it as that, or we could write it out as 2.5. Either way. So that's the x-coordinate that's in the middle of these two. For y, we've got 0 plus 4 averaged, and we can probably figure out that that's going to be 2. So our midpoint, therefore, between these two, we don't even need to graph it, is the x is 2.5, comma, the y-coordinate is 2. So that will be the point in between 1, 0 and 4, 4. For this one, we do the same thing. To work out x, I do the average, or the mean, -3 plus 5 divided by 2, and that will work out, if you looked on a number line, you'd see too that it works out as 1. So that's our x-coordinate. Our y-coordinate is the average of, the first one is -2 plus 3 over 2, and that's going to give us, in this case, we'll call it 0.5 or half. Either one is right. Either one's right. So therefore, our midpoint for these coordinates, -3, -2, and 5, 3, is 1, 0.5, or you could call it 1, 1/2. Now I'm going to find the length of the segment joining -2, 2, and 4, -1. So my first point is -2, 2. My next point is 4, -1. I'm going to use my ruler to draw a nice line. Try using a ruler on a slippery surface. And so now I'm just going to use my old buddy Pythagoras, because I'm thinking of this as my hypotenuse. So I'm going to work out this. Call that A, or call it B, whatever you're in the mood for. And this, at 90 degrees, call that B, or call that A, whatever you want. So c squared is equal to a squared plus b squared. And so we're just going to count out what those segments are. In this case, what did I do first? A is on the side, so A is 3 squared. And I chose this to be B, so that is, it doesn't matter which one's which, because they're going to give us the right answer in the end. 36 plus 9 is 45. So c squared is equal to 45. So c itself is equal to the square root of 45. And the square root of 45, what do they want? They want correct to 2 decimal places. So I don't want to leave it there. I'm going to write 6.71. We don't have centimeters or anything like that, so we'll just call it units. That's all you have to do.